Hello and welcome to Fiona's Creative Canvas. I'm Fiona and today I'm doing something a little different. I've got a 12 by 16 inch cradle board. So it's a timber panel and I've lightly sprayed it with some white primer paint. And I've got some leftover paints here. Now this piece is inspired by an artist named Brendan Parker. He's at Brendan Parker Art on YouTube and he does a lot of sort of house paint, puts it down just randomly and then covers it with resin. So it works a lot with resins, and I just really love the flow of the paints and the way they just interact with each other. So I'm going to have a go with that using these leftover paints that I have. These are house paints, some sample pots, and then I have some acrylic paints that I've mixed with some neutral base house paints. Now there's lots of lumps in these, so I've got my tweezers out because I'm assuming I'm going to be picking a lot out. But it won't matter too much if there's a few lumps because this is going to end up being coated in resin. All right, so I'm going to cover my edges as well. So I think to start with, what I want to do is use this color, which is Dulux Casper White, and I'm just going to put this around the outside and I want to rub it down on my sides, just to make sure that the sides are all covered and that the paint will flow. So the idea behind this is to get the whole canvas covered and just play with it basically. Then I'll be going over the top with the resin after this has been allowed to dry for a while. Maybe a bit thick. Yes, very thick. I don't know if he thins them down or what. Let's use two hands. I will be tilting this though, I think. I'm just going to put my colours down over the top of this now. I wonder how much it's going to actually tilt. Yeah, we'll tilt a bit. So I suspect that I should probably thin this down a bit more. How thin have I got these? They're still pretty thick. Just going to add a little bit more Floetrol to get these colours to flow. Now let's put some of this one through. Got this one here. I think this is a bit of leftover. I've got a palette knife as well. For blending. Let's try tilting. We've got all different consistencies on here, but I haven't worried about it because I just want things to go a little natural. Thought about doing a swipe to get some lacing, but I'm not going to. I want to see how this goes naturally. What I haven't done is tape to my bottom. which I normally do when I'm going to do resin, I can do that after this paint is dried. I'm going to let this one dry for days. I want to make sure it's really dry before I go over it with my resin. Okay, so I've let this dry for about 3 days, so it's quite dry now. It is a bit lumpy, but I'm not worried about that because I'm going to be going over the top with resin. So I have checked my levels to make sure it's good, because resin's just going to level out on its own. And I'm going to be using the tabletop epoxy from Let's Resin. This has got a 25-minute working time. I'll be wearing a mask and goggles and gloves, so I'm going to mix that up, get my colours ready. I've got a few different types. I've got some opaque ones. This one's a transparent that I might try, and I'll be using clear in places so we can see what's going on underneath as well. 10 minutes in, so I've got about 15 to 20 minutes to go. I didn't like the ultramarine blue, so I ended up adding the slate grey into it. So we'll see how that one goes, but got a few nice colours here. And I've also got some spray paints that I might just do a little bit of. So let's just start with a bit of that, and we're just going to play around. There's some bits here that I like. Going to keep a bit of clear. What shall we go with next? This colour here is pretty. Where's the slate going to go? Very different. I've got some glitter here. And I've got some white, but I'm going to drizzle the white in. Okay, so I don't like bringing that grey in there, so I'm going to add some clear. Just trying to get my sides covered. A little bit of gold, right up through here. The other thing I want to do, let's just blow that a little bit. I like the lacing. And I've also got isopropyl. That's cool. Take some white through here, I think. Oh, that's crazy. Just gives a bit of a crackle effect. I like the spray paint. I think I'm going to keep that in to my routine. Okay, here is the final result, and I've had trouble trying to not get reflections in it because you see if I bring my camera down, there's the ceiling light. So yeah, very shiny. The gold is pretty, and there's a little bit of sparkle down there in the corner. I'm not sure about this bit here. I am wondering, oh, and this bit through here. I am wondering whether to do another layer. I haven't quite decided yet, but this was all about learning, and I did start on a very small piece. I love the spray paint with the alcohol over the top. I just like the way it breaks it up. This bit of lacing through here is really pretty, so I really like that. But yeah, this was an experiment, and I would like to do a bigger piece. I would do the bottom, the base color different. I think it's too busy, so it looks a bit strange underneath the resin. So I think I'd make that a lot softer and maybe just rub the paints in. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. I'd love to experiment with that more. That's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye.